When a child is in the middle of a full-blown meltdown, the immediate parental reflex is almost always to try and negotiate. We hold up a hand and deliver logical commands like stop crying or calm down. But meeting a high-stress moment with logic usually makes the crying louder. Giving a command attempts to correct an outward behavior without addressing the overwhelming, unmet emotional need that is driving it. We can see why this fails by looking at the biology of a dysregulated child. High emotional stress activates the brain's emotional center, the amygdala. When this area flares up, it physically shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the logical reasoning center. In this state, a child cannot process well-reasoned arguments. The logical pathways are temporarily closed, meaning any verbal commands simply bounce right off. A dysregulated brain lacks the biological capacity for reason. Connection must come first to reopen the neural pathways needed to process a correction. The first step to calming a child in crisis actually has nothing to do with the child. It requires the adult to pause, take a breath, and regulate their own emotions. This initiates a process called co-regulation. Because children rely on caregivers to determine if their environment is safe, your physically calm presence acts as a biological safety signal directly to their nervous system. This text outlines a concept known as vagal tone. It defines the body's psychophysiological ability to respond to stress and then successfully return to a normal resting state. Children are not born with a highly developed vagal tone. They build the capacity to calm themselves down faster only through repeated exposure to nurturing, responsive environments where an adult helps them weather distress. So when you pause to self-regulate during a tantrum, you are actively building the architecture of your child's internal stress management system. To apply this science during a crisis, researchers developed this practical 5-step framework known as emotion coaching. The process begins with the adult actively noticing the child's emotion and making a deliberate choice. Instead of viewing the disruption as an annoyance, the parent reframes the moment as a critical opportunity for teaching. Next, the parent listens with empathy and validates the feeling, saying something like, "I can see you are really frustrated right now." The key here is to completely avoid the urge to minimize the feeling or jump straight into fixing the problem. Then, you help the child verbally label the specific emotion they are experiencing. Psychologists often refer to this as name it to tame it. Labeling works because it takes a scary, amorphous feeling and gives it clear boundaries. Once an emotion has a name, it becomes defined, which immediately reduces the child's sense of being overwhelmed.
Only after these steps are complete, when the child's biology has settled and their logical brain is back online, can you safely set behavioral limits and work together to problem solve. Emotion coaching shifts the parent's role from a behavioral enforcer to an emotional guide. It allows you to maintain strict boundaries on behavior without inducing shame about the emotion itself. While emotion coaching handles the crisis moments, preventing those meltdowns requires daily relationship maintenance. The long-term goal is to build a secure attachment style where the child inherently trusts that their caregiver is reliably available. As we can see on this timeline, one highly actionable way to build this trust is the 7-7-7 rule. It is a stress-free daily routine that asks for just 21 total minutes of undivided attention, broken into 3 blocks. The first 7 minutes happen in the morning. Before the rush of alarms and packing lunches takes over, spending a few focused minutes together establishes a baseline of emotional safety for the day ahead. The second block serves as a check-in when your child gets home from school or you get home from work. Instead of gliding straight into chores, you hit pause to ask questions and listen without interrupting. The final 7 minutes occur right before bed. This offers a gentle window to wind down and help the child reflect on and process the emotions they experienced throughout their day. The effectiveness of these minutes comes from undivided attention, not military precision with a stopwatch. It requires a window where screens and distractions are completely absent. By prioritizing connection before correction, both in moments of crisis and in daily 7-minute increments, you teach your children a vital lesson. They learn that while certain behaviors are not acceptable, they, as a person, are always accepted.